Of all the methods to drive massive traffic to your website, email solo ads is proved to be one of the most effective ones. It is a great way to bring in traffic as it is simple, but the results it brings are favorable. Let's explore more on email solo ads and see how it will help you. Before we go on, we must know what is an email solo ad. It is what the name implies, which is advertising on someone else's email list. Just to be clear, an email list is a list of subscribers' emails. Internet entrepreneurs have to have a list or more so that they can update the people who are interested in what they offer. These people are subscribers and they're extremely valuable to all internet entrepreneurs. Anyway, as mentioned, the list owners will update these subscribers on anything new. For example, if the list owners were selling a new product, they will send an email about the product to everyone on that list. When you advertise on someone's list, your email instead will be sent to those subscribers. That is the essence of an email solo ad. Why choose email solo ads? There are a few solid reasons. The first one is that it is usually inexpensive. This, of course, depends on the list owner. They're the ones who set the price, but it's usually a reasonable amount as you are paying for each click you get to your website. This assures you are paying for what you get. As mentioned, it's reasonable, and it usually is rewarding. Another reason is that it is a quick way to get traffic. Just think, when the list owner blasts your paid email, they will instantly reach all of the subscribers. Remember that it's not like passive advertising where you use a banner to capture their attention. Your message is sent directly to their email inbox. If the email was done well, you'll have their attention and you'll get clicks instantly. Unlike, let's say, a banner ad where your banner has to stand out and truly be appealing in order to get the user's attention. You are already in their attention. Also, an email solo ad deal is a stepping stone to ad swaps. Just as a refresher, an ad swap is where you swap ad placement with another marketer in order to reach their audience, and they, in return, will do the same with your audience. It's a great way to generate traffic. It's very effective. However, for a novice to secure an ad swap deal is an uphill battle. Actually, it's closer to impossible. You'd need to be established and able to do that, and for that, you need to start. And email solo advertising is a perfect way to start. So how do solo ads work? Well, as mentioned, you pay a list owner to have your email sent to their subscribers. Before that, however, you have to work out a deal on how many clicks you're getting from their list. And of course, they'll tell you how much you're paying for each click too. An email sent to the list owner's subscribers, you will put the link to your website there. That is how you get traffic. The clicks that I've mentioned just now are clicks of the link in your email ad that is sent. The solo ads method works well with list owners who have a high number of subscribers. They are the ones who can reach a higher number of audience. However, a list owner with a smaller number of subscribers can also bring great results if they have a high conversion rate. So moving on to what a solo ad email should do, it must be targeted to a specific audience. A solo ad should be written with an audience in mind. If not, it would be aimless and confusing most of the time. As you should know by now that in marketing, an effectiveness of the message depends largely on knowing whom you're communicating with so that you know how to appeal to them. A solo ad should do the same. You must target a specific audience, which is your niche. A solo ad should also intrigue a reader. We'll talk more about this later on, but for now, just know that the composition of email advertising is complex. You have to take into account all details such as the title, the language, the words you choose, the number of words, all of that. It can get a little technical, but all of that is made to intrigue a reader. Lastly, your email should make them take action. That is the main purpose of advertising. A solo ad email should be to launch them to your website. To be able to do all of this is not easy, but it's not difficult to learn. Now, we're going to learn the technicalities in email writing, or more specifically, email advertising. How does it look like? How is it different from a sales letter? Well, unlike a sales letter, email advertising is more personal, and you have to be meticulous. First, you start with an attention-getting subject. This is the first thing that the readers look at. It has to be attractive enough to make the readers open the email. This is the tricky part, and you need to be succinct. In one short subject line, you should be able to convince them to click open and read the email. When you write here, you should write something that would attract them instantly, like mentioning a particular promotion or discount or bonus. The tricky part here is that your subject line has to be below 50 characters, and here's why. When the subject line is written in more than 50 characters, it will be cut, and anything beyond the 50 characters will be replaced with an ellipsis. You do not want your subject line to hang, or else it will look incomplete. The contents should be brief, precise, and clear. Nobody would want to read a lengthy email that is selling them something. Besides, you've got a website to do that, so use your website to do the selling instead. The email should be only to bring them there. And as mentioned, you need to be clear here. Get straight to the point and just present them with what you think is good enough. And always remember to keep spaces between paragraphs too. The key here is to make the email easier to read. In order to do this, not only you have to choose your words carefully, you also need to structure the text. If the text were long and had no breaks in between, the reader wouldn't be interested to read that either. So another thing you should remember when writing an email ad is that you should always write with an audience in mind. This is so that you can know who you are speaking with and how to communicate with them effectively, and you'll know how to appeal to them too. Plus, it makes the experience a whole lot easier. When you think about who's going to read the email, the words will flow out of you and your audience will be able to connect with your words. Of course, in any form of advertising, you'll need a call to action. Without a call to action, your promotion is of no use. The content of your email should lead up to the call to action. It must be properly placed in the email, which is usually the ending, and it must be very clear. An important thing to take note here is to not use hard sell. In some other cases, maybe it's okay to use hard sell, but not in email advertising. You are writing to your audience here that will show up to their email. That means you're in their personal space. No one would appreciate hard sell in their personal space. It's rude and people will gladly ignore your email. Be a bit subtle and respectful. This is why it's important to write with the audience in mind so that you know how it feels to read those words. With that said, here's some tips for you to find the right list owner to approach. First of all, find a list owner who shares the same niche as you. The idea of doing an email solo ad is for you to communicate with the audience you're targeting but are beyond your reach. So it wouldn't make sense for you to approach a list owner who has nothing to do with what your website is about. Your email would not interest the audience, and thus your efforts, they're just going to be wasted. This method is only effective if you're communicating with the people who are interested in your website. So make sure the subscribers of the list owner are of your niche. It's a good idea also to establish a relationship with the list owner before approaching them to make a deal. This is so that it's easier for you to close down the email solo ad deal with them. It'd be a bit more difficult if you were to approach a list owner who's not familiar with you. Even though you're still paying by clicks, it's still a good idea to approach a list owner with a big number of subscribers. This is because you know a list owner with a lot of subscribers are established and trusted. Therefore, their subscribers are likely to trust you if you're sending an email through the list owner. Now, what is the usual price you have to pay for solo ads? There's no definite rate that is followed by all solo ad vendors. Different individuals will provide different prices for their service, so it's still up to them. The prices are determined by the number of clicks you'll get, and the solo ad vendors will let you know on the number of clicks you'll get. The usual price for each click is around 20 to 50 cents per click. Depending upon how many clicks you want, you can just multiply with that. If you were to do it for the first time, it's best to start small and perhaps go to 200 clicks, but it's up to you. Determine the number that coincides with your budget. Now, there are some questions that you must ask the solo ad vendor in order to make a deal. Firstly, ask them how big is their email list. This is the basic question you'd ask any list owner. Next, ask them how many clicks are they able to generate. This is what your payment should be based on. Then ask them whether they can provide a suitable offer. Tell them what you expect from this campaign and then ask them for an offer that is fitting to this expectation. Lastly, and quite important, ask them how old is their list. If it were an old list, it'd be less likely that the solo ad campaign would be able to pull in great results. So it's better if they were to have a new list. Definitely be careful. Some solo ad vendors will include your link with other solo ad purchasers in one email. This will make your link easily ignored. Also, some vendors might send bland emails for you that are badly written. This will also jeopardize your solo ad efforts. So always watch who you deal with. As safety precautions, prepare some swipe emails yourself. This way, you can ensure that the emails they send are not bland. Plus, your link will not be included along with others as mentioned previously. When you write your own swipe emails, you can be sure of how it's going to turn out to be. Even though it is a bit of work, but at least you're going to know how your emails will be. Another way to ensure quality, subscribe to their list and see how your emails turn out. This way, you can monitor your emails and see if there's anything wrong with your emails. If an issue arises, you can contact the solo ad vendor and let them know. Again, the most ideal rate for a solo ad vendor to offer you is around 20 to 50 cents per click. And if you're just starting out, start small with maybe 200 clicks. If you want to go more, you're free to do so, of course. Now, tracking the clicks of the link is important, as you, of course, would want to know the effectiveness of the solo ad. The first way to do this is Google Analytics. It's a great way to track clicks, and the best part is it is free to use. It's highly recommended if you're just starting out. Or you can use any other click tracking tools that you can find on the internet. There are quite a lot, and you can choose whichever you find best suited for your business. Now, where to find solo ad vendors? Usually through various networks, but the first stepping stone, you can just go on any one of these websites. These 3 websites are trusted, and it's far more convenient to find the solo ad vendors here than anywhere else.